Hello everyone and welcome back to how to do a player skill menu in your Unreal Engine 5 game. In the last episode we went through the UI side of things, getting it show with the right trigger on the gamepad, but now let's actually showcase how to actually trigger those abilities. So let's jump in and take a look. Okay, so this is where we left off last time. On my gamepad, if I hold down right trigger, it appears with the menu. But how to actually combine it so that these buttons actually trigger the skills that we have in mind. So let's take a look at how this works. All you do is go to your inputs and first of all set up the input buttons for each of your skill slots. So we're going to go into input, input action, and we'll do skill bottom. And this is an interesting one because it's not a straightforward input because we need to be holding down the right trigger at the same time. So on the triggers, you're going to hold down, not hold down, so you can hit the plus button. And in the index here, you can change it from none to corded action. And what corded action means, it has to be combined with another input. So when you expand open, you can choose which action it has to be corded with. And in here, we're going to choose the skill menu. So that means the skill menu and the input that this is assigned to have to be on for this to work. So I'm going to save this, close that. And let's go to our default. So all I'm doing here is add in my skill bottom input and choose what key I want to use, which I'm going to use the A key. Okay, so let's now go back to our character. And let's set up that skill button option for that character here. So I'm going to do IA skill bottom. And when this is triggered, I want it to, in this case, just print string, I guess, for now. Hit play, hold down right trigger, and push A. Okay. Cool. However, we don't want our skill to fire off that many times. We only want it to fire once. So let's go back to our skill bottom. Action. And in here, we're going to change the modifier, the trigger here to be one time. So we go to here and do this as pressed. I think it's press one. Double check. Fires once only when input exceeds the threshold. I believe it's that one. Double check that. I'm pretty certain it's that one. So let's take a look. So yeah, hold down doesn't do anything, but if I hit it once, there we go. Okay, cool. So that is how we trigger a corded action. But let's actually do the ability itself now. So the ability is essentially just going to be an animation of the character doing something. And then you tie that with whatever you need your ability to do. So we're going to do something very basic. I'm going to bring in some animations for us to use and then see how we apply that to our skill here. So I brought in some animations to use. Let's take a look at them. Let's go in here. And we've got this overhead cast here. And I've made it a montage by just right click on it, going create and then montage. And it looks something like this. Okay. So very basic animation, nothing too fancy. Obviously, you do as you want to do. Now, on here, I'm going to add some special effects to make it look a bit more fancy. So I've also brought in some visual effects to use. So let's go ahead and add a visual effect to this animation. And so the way I'm going to do this is add a notifier to the notify track on the montage when it wakes up. So I'm going to make this look a bit more fancy. I'm going to have a visual effect on it so it shoots up some animation or something. So I'm going to go to notify track here and going to do add notify play Niagara particle effect. And I've got a number of particle effects I've brought in. I just have lying about in my library. Let's just bring those in here. And let's do this Bifrost one. So I'll throw that into my Niagara system here. And I'll just time it by just placing where I want the notified to be. Okay, give it a second to compile the shaders. You can see it going on there. Now, a thing that could be quite useful is rather than doing the play montage right on here, is having this assigned to an actual ability that you're spawning in. So you're not doing it rigid inside the actor. Now, this is beneficial to do it separate from here because it allows you then to do things like swapping in and out the different skills a lot more easily. So I'm going to have in my skill folder a new blueprint class. I'm going to call it actor, and it can BP skill base. Okay. And that's going to be the parent class of all the skills and abilities you have in the game. You can then right click on this one and create children of this. And let's say this is going to be called Bifrost. Okay, that's the Bifrost skill. And let's actually make it a bit more obvious. I'm going to call it BP skill Bifrost. Okay. And I want to set in my skill base here. I want it to fire off the skill. So in skill base, I'm going to separate it from the begin play. So I'm not going to tell it begin play animation, do all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. I actually want to set up a delay system if I need to have a delay system. This could be useful for things like casting or other things like that. So instead of just going directly from begin play, we create a custom event in here called trigger skill. And then begin play by default will call trigger skill straight away. This benefit of doing it like this is that we make children of these, we can override the begin play to make it not trigger the skill straight away, which is very beneficial. Obviously, it gives you a lot more flexibility. Now for trigger skill, we want it just to play that animation, which means that this thing needs to know the character that's playing this animation. So I'm going to go to my variables, and we're going to call this one as character. This will be a character class. Object reference, not class reference, object reference. Made it editable and exposed on spawn. This means that when we create the ability, we can then set the ability straight away. And right now, that's all I need to do on here. I can close this, go back to my third person character. Then rather than doing the play montage here, I can just do spawn actor from class and choose my BP Bifrost. I thought I renamed it. Did I not rename it? Skill Bifrost. Oh, yeah, I did. There's another one already called Bifrost, isn't there? Yeah. Thought I was going mad. Skill Bifrost. There you go. And you can see there the character pin has appeared because that's what we set to expose and spawn. If that doesn't appear, it just means you haven't ticked that box. So tick that box, hit compile, and then you should see it here. So in character here, we're going to do self. And then spawn transform, we can do get actor transform. And typically speaking, you want to always spawn your abilities regardless of collisions. So do always spawn, ignore collisions. And there you go. There is our ability. Now, with this, we can also handle cooldowns with this too. So the cooldown we're going to have on here, actually, no, we'll do cooldown in the next part. That'll be fine. Okay, so now if we go to the skill Bifrost, I can now go to override the function trigger skill and plug in my character reference, get character, get the mesh of the character, play montage. There we go. So although what we've done here is separated out, it should still function the exact same way. The thing that's differing is that now we've got it in a separate actor. It makes it a lot easier to swap it in and out with different classes. So let's go ahead and push play and just double check that works. Hold down right trigger, hit A, and there we go. Perfect. So there you go. A really easy way to make your UI actually cast spells, and by having that separation between the ability and the player, it gives us a lot more flexibility to scale it up to have many different abilities that we can swap in and out. And notice how we use a character reference, not the actual player reference, and that's because we can also then use our same skill system for enemy characters as well. They can also use the same thing to get the same effect, which is very important because, again, it saves you from doing double the work. So in the next episode, we're going to go through how to do a cooldown and also how to show that cooldown on that UI. So if you want to watch the next episode right now, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley, where you can find all our videos early from just $1 a month. A massive thank you to all our patrons and YouTube members for their continued support. Thank you for watching, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.